Today I'm going to talk about intrinsic and extrinsic factors of food spoilage. So this is a main factor which is going to determine the spoilage of food. It can be from the external factor or it can be from the internal factor. Internal factors can be such the moisture content, the water content in them, the temperature, the nutrient availability, and the extrinsic factors are normally which is done in the storage environment. Factors affecting microbial growth in food. Intrinsic factors. These are inherent in the food. They include pH, that is negative logarithm of hydrogen ions, water activity. It is the amount of water present in the food. It can be derived as the water activity, the moisture content in the solvent by the solute, the oxidation reduction potential. It is mainly about the how much oxidation and reduction properties is present, and the nutrient content. If the carbohydrate, nitrogen, sugar contents are more, it is easy for the microorganism to live and grow on them. If there is any harsh fermentation producing which has many gas and acid reproduces, which is very difficult for the microorganisms to grow. Antimicrobial contents. The many foods have their own antimicrobial contents that they also have an immune responses. So biological structures, as we know, the shell of the egg and seeds, and the jackfruit has a bad thick layered wall. So these are the intrinsic factor, and the extrinsic factor, the factors external to the food that affect the microbial growth. Factors affecting microbial growth in the food. Intrinsic factors. These are inherent in the food. They include hydrogen ion concentration, that is pH, moisture content, nutrient content of the food, microbial substances, biological structures. Hydrogen ion concentration. We know that it is a very important role of an hydrogen ion concentration in a food. If the it will be ranges from 0 to 14. 0 to 7 is acidic, 7 to 14 is basic. If the food decreases its pH, it becomes more acidic, and if the food is more of pH, it is basic in nature. Most bacteria grow best at neutral or weakly alkaline pH, usually between 6.8 and 7.5. Some bacteria can grow within a narrow pH of 4.5 and 9.0, that is Salmonella. Other microorganisms, especially yeast and molds, and some bacteria within a wide pH range. Example, mold grow between 1.5 to 11.0, while yeast grow between 1.5 and 8.5. pH ranges: beef 5.1 to 6.2, chicken 6.2 to 6.4, milk 6.3 to 6.8, cheese 4.9 to 5.9, fish 6.6 to 6.8, oyster 5.8 to 6.3, fruits less than 4.5, vegetables 3.0 to 6.1. Microorganisms that are able to grow in an acidic environment is called as an acidophilic microorganisms. These microorganisms are able to grow at the pH around 2. Yeast and mold grow under acidic conditions. Other microorganisms such as Vibrio cholera are sensitive to acids and prefer alkaline conditions. Most bacteria are killed in strong acidic and strong alkaline environment except mycobacteria, because they do not have a cell membrane, they have a mycomembrane. Maximum pH for the growth of some specific microorganisms. Escherichia coli minimum is 4.4 and maximum is 9.0. Salmonella 4.5, minimum 8.8, maximally bacteria minimum is 4.0 and maximum is 9.0. Mold 1.5, maximum 11.0. Yeast 1.5, mold 8.5. The warranty. Moisture content. The effect of the moisture is in terms of water activity, the amount of free water in the food medium. The amount of free water is important for the growth of microorganisms. So they, for their survival and their need, and for the osmotic shock or everything they need everything for that they need water. And the cells are made up of 70% of water, so it is conformly needed. If there is a lack of free water, organisms it will not grow. Water activity is defined as a vapor pressure of a food substance to that of water at the same temperature. Water activity of pure water is equal to 1. Food products have a water activity of less than 1.0. A saturated salt solution has a water activity of 0.75. Salting and drying reduces the water activity when it is mainly used in pickling products, drying them, which makes them shrink, and lyophilization, freeze drying, spray dryers as milk to milk powders. And the water activity of few foods: raw meat and milk 0.99 to 1, luncheon meat 0.95, boiled ham and sliced bacon 0.90, dried grains 0.80. Water activity levels: growth of microorganisms is greatly affected by both level of water activity in the food. Inhibition of growth occurs if the water activity of the food is lowered beyond the organism's minimum level of water activity that is necessary for the growth. So, in a lack of water availability, the microorganisms won't grow. Microorganisms have varying minimum water activity requirements that supports their growth in the food. So you can see some of the water activity which supports the growth of some microorganisms. Everything is up to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, that is Clostridium, Bacillus, Pseudomonas and Salmonella. Staphylococcus and Candida is 0.90, Staphylococcus 86, Penicillium 0.82 and 80s, and asthmatic yeast is 0.70. Nutrients content of the food. Microorganisms require protein, carbohydrate, lipid, water, energy, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, vitamins, and minerals for the growth. The various foods have specific nutrients that help in the microbial growth. Foods such as milk, meat, eggs contain a number of nutrients that are required by microorganisms. These foods are hence susceptible to microbial spoilage. Antimicrobial substances. The antimicrobial substances is the inhibition agent which is present in the food, which enables then microorganisms to grow on it. Antimicrobial substances in the food inhibit microbial growth. Various foods have inert antimicrobial substances that prevent or inhibit the microbial attack. Some inhibitors are like lactinin and anticoliform factors in milk, lysozymes in eggs. Biological structure. Some foods have biological structure that prevent microbial growth entry. For example, meat has fascia, skin, that is skin, and other membranes to prevent the microbial entry. Eggs have shell and inner membrane that prevents yolk and egg white from infection. Now we are moving on to the extrinsic factors. They are external factors to the food that affect microbial growth. They include temperature of storage, presence and the concentration of gases in the environment, relative humidity of food storage environment. First one is the temperature. The growth of microorganism is affected by the environmental temperatures. Various microorganisms are able to grow at certain temperatures and not others. Microbacteria can therefore be divided into following groups depending upon their optimum temperature of growth. That is psychrophilic microorganisms. These go best about 20 degrees Celsius, but also from 10 degrees Celsius minus 10. Psychrophilic bacteria can cause food spoilage at low temperatures. Several of the microorganisms found in the soil and water belong to this group. Mesophilic bacteria, they are normally in room temperature, that is between 25 degrees Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius, and their optimum growth will be 37 degrees Celsius. Example is Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is on the lower temperature around 5 to 43 degrees Celsius. None of the mesophilic bacteria are able to grow below 5 or above 45 degrees. Most pathogenic bacteria belong to this group. Thermophilic. These grow at the temperature above 45. Often their optimum growth temperatures are between 50 degrees Celsius and 70 degrees Celsius. Growth of some of the bacteria occurs at 80 degrees Celsius. The bacteria in this group are mainly spore formers and are of importance of food industries, especially in processed food. Note that the effect of microorganism temperature on microbial growth also depends upon other environmental conditions, growth factors in the nutrient media, pH of the food, water activity. Next is the concentration of gases in the environment. This relates to the presence and the concentration of gases in the food environment. Various microorganisms required for growth, either high oxygen tension aerobic or low oxygen tension microaerobic or absence of oxygen is anaerobic. Some microorganisms may grow either in high oxygen tension or absence of oxygen, facultative anaerobes. Food affected by various groups. Aerobic or facultative anaerobe spore formers are most liking to grow in canned food. Microaerophilic bacteria are most liking to grow in vacuum packed foods since they have low oxygen tension, while aerobic bacteria grow on surface of the raw meat. Aerobic molds will grow insufficiently dried or salted products. Relative humidity is the amount of moisture in atmosphere or in the food environment. It can be in the storage environment or it can be in the food or it will be inside the food. Foods with low water activity placed at high humidity environment take up the water and increases their water activity and get spoiled easily. For example, dry grains stored in environment with high humidity will take up water and undergo mold spoilages. So thank you all. Thank you.